How's it going, everyone? CJ from On The Grow here, and today we are back with some more lighting tests, this time using Active Grow LED grow lights. I'm really excited to be sharing these results with you guys, so stay tuned for the test. Alright guys, so as you know, we like to do all kinds of different experiments to test out different lights, nutrients, soils, things like that to see how we can affect the growth, appearance, and taste of microgreens. So what we're going to be doing today is actually trying out some new lights that we've never tried before. The people over at Active Grow saw that we like to do these experiments and they offered to send us a few lights for free, and I was like, heck yes, I will try out your lights if you really want me to put them to the test. I do let everybody know that sends me their stuff. I'm going to be completely brutally honest about how I review their product. And if I don't like it, I'm going to let people know that I don't like it. So I just want to let you guys know that I'm not trying to be biased about this because I got free lights and I'm going to tell you, oh, these lights are great, when in reality, I like to try to keep this as unbiased as I possibly can. So what we've got is we got purple sprouting broccoli. I have seeded 16 grams, per tray. And this all went through the exact same blackout period, which was 2 days with weight and 1 day of blackout. These have been in the light for 1 day now. I wanted to green them up a little bit just because they were a little, it just looks a little bit prettier on camera for the first day. So you'll notice that there's two different sets of colors on these trays. The green trays are going to be going underneath our shop light T5 LEDs that we suggest to everybody. They're incredibly cheap LEDs. They're about $6 a piece. And the orange trays are going to be going underneath the Active Grow LEDs. Now these are really nice grow lights. So these Active Grow LEDs are quite pricey. These are some of the most expensive lights that we have in our grow space. These are $64 a piece. And what we're going to be doing is running 2 of these lights. The reason I'm running 2 is because they do have a really great power output, and I think that they're absolutely going to crush it in this test. So let's quickly talk about the lights and what's going on with them. So like I said, we've got 2 of these at $64 a piece, so this is $128 to run both these lights. The power output of these 2 lights is between 90 and 120 depending on where you position the par reader on the shelf right there. The watts per light, it actually pulls 21.5 watts even though it's said to be a 23 watt light, and they pull 0.18 amps. So the cost to run these lights per day, the 2 of them, is 9 cents per day. Let's talk about the shelf below it that there's going to be competing with. What we're going to be using on this shelf is 3 of the shop lights that we like to suggest to people to get started growing microgreens, because these lights are super cheap and they do a really great job of giving us some solid growth. These do have a much lower par output at 70 to 90 par depending on where we position the light on the shelf. But you will notice that 3 of them, we're going to get a little bit more even coverage than we are on this top shelf. And so to run all 3 of these lights, it's $20 for all 3. The watts that are pulled per light are 19.6 watts and 0.16 amps. To run all 3 of these lights, it cost me a total of 12 cents per day, so it's 3 cents more per day to run 3 of these lights compared to the 2 Active Grow above it. Alright guys, so like I explained before, the reason I'm running 2 of the Active Grow and 3 of the shop lights is these 2 Active Grow have a par output that's about 30 higher than these shop lights. So that's the only reason that I'm running 2 of these and not 3. What I will do on the next trial is actually run 3 of these at the same time, and we'll see what kind of growth we can get out of those. So that is it for the overview of kind of what's going on with this trial. I'm really excited to see what kind of growth we can get out of these Active Grow lights, because these are actual grow lights. The lights that we suggest to people are just shop lights, and these aren't really intended for growing. I just found that they're really cheap and they have great lumen output and par output. So I just started growing with them, and it turns out they do a pretty decent job. So I'm excited to see, can these really, really cheap shop lights actually give us a comparable grow to these actual grow lights. So one thing I wanted to quickly show before we actually get all these put back onto the shelf is we're going to take a look at all the growth, and I want to show you guys that this is all pretty even on the actual growth. It's hard to get these exactly the same because you're never going to get 2 trays that germinate exactly the same. But as for their overall height and germination, all of these look really solid. I will say that this one orange tray is just a hair above everything else, so that may play a factor towards the end, but it's got the same amount of seeds. It went through the same process, and I think that we'll see very, very similar results towards the end. What I will be doing now is getting all of these trays placed on their designated shelves. So now remember, the orange trays are going to go up top underneath the Active Grow lights, and the 2 green trays are going to be going on the shop light shelf. I'm going to add nutrients to all of these, and I will see you guys over the next few days for updates, and I'm really excited to see what kind of growth we get out of all these trays. Stay tuned. All right, so we are on day 2 of this active grow with the broccoli, and all of these trays are looking really solid. I will say that the 2 active grow trays look like they are standing up quite a bit taller, and they do have a little bit more rounding to them than the T5 LEDs from Barrina. Overall though, the growth looks really great. The cotyledon sizes are all pretty consistent. And I am noticing that right now I'm seeing a slight color difference between the Barrinas and the active grow. The Barrinas seem a little bit lighter in color than the active grow trays do. That's all for today. I will see you guys in a few days for another update. It's day 9 of the active grow versus Barrina on the purple sprouting broccoli. So let's go ahead and take a look. Remember, the orange trays are active grow, and the growth on these are looking really great. We're getting a lot of mounding. The height for these are great, and overall the crop is looking very healthy with its cotyledons and coloration. Taking a look at our 2 Barrinas, again, we're getting very solid growth out of these guys. Everything's looking very happy and healthy. As for the size, I think you guys can see that the active grow are beginning to take the lead. And let's take a look at the coloration of these side by side. So both the colorations look really nice, and the cotyledon sizes are actually very comparable. I would say that the active grow is maybe just a tiny bit smaller than the Barrina side. Overall though, very nice. I'll see you guys in another few days. Okay guys, we have made it all the way to day 11, and these crops are looking really healthy and really quite tall. And there's some pretty cool growth differences happening. So you guys know the drill. Let's first take a look at all of these crops side by side, and then we're gonna harvest them, taste them, and see which one actually did better throughout this entire grow. So let's go ahead and start over here with our active grow LEDs. Now again, these were the grow lights that were sent to us, and they did a pretty phenomenal job here. I'm very happy with the growth on all of this. The coloration on all these cotyledons is really beautiful. The crop looks very healthy, though I am noticing in the middle sections on both of these that the growth was a little weird, and I think it's because, as you guys can see, I didn't want to run all 3 lights at the same time because it was just a very unfair test if I ran 3 of these versus 3 of these, because the 3 active grow put out just a lot more lumens basically, and par. So what I did is I ran 2 of them, and I think because we didn't have this middle section with light, they both kind of stretched towards that, and it did create a little bit of concerning mounding on both sides. But overall, I'm very happy with the growth. One thing that I also noticed, or Mandy actually pointed out to me, was that some of these actually developed some really big true leaves very, very fast. And that's pretty shocking because some of this tray doesn't have true leaf at all, and some of the tray does. I think what I will be doing for the next test is I'm going to run all 3 of these lights at the same time. That way we can get a little bit more even growth and some more solid results here to see how these things actually perform. So again, the cotyledon size is great. There are some that are actually just like some huge cotyledons here, and feeling it, they are nice and firm, very healthy growth. And towards the middle, they're a little bit softer, so I think this is where they weren't just getting as much of that par, especially as they started stretching up towards the lights. These ones on the edge were getting a ton of light, and the ones in the middle weren't getting as much. Okay, on to our Barrina T5 LEDs. This growth is incredibly even. The growth looks great. I'm very happy with all the cotyledon sizes, and I actually just noticed like a 3-leaf clover almost with a broccoli. So this is very rare. I've never actually seen a little triple leaf like this on a brassica, and it's pretty cute. I really, really like it. As you guys can see, most of them just kind of have those 2 little, it's got like that U shape. And right here we got a little bit of a, looks like a little hat, like I want to wear it. I want to put that on top of my head. Anyways, we're not seeing that thing that happened in the middle because we're going to have a lot more even light coverage on these trays. We don't have reflectors on these Barrinas like you see on the active grow, so we're actually just getting a lot more dispersion kind of happening all around this, but we're losing on par, and we're not getting just as much light as we're going to get on these active grow. But as for light coverage, having 3 of these is giving us a lot more uniformity across all of this tray. So again, both of these trays look great. They're very flat, the growth is very even, cotyledon size is really, really nice. And as for coloration between the 2 groups, they both look very, very even. I will say in the beginning of the growth, the active grow lights had a nice dark green color that was much darker than I noticed on the Barrina. So I think in the beginning, we saw a clear advantage on these active grow, but as they stretch up towards that light, I think because we run very, very aggressive shelf heights, they started to kind of suffer because the plants on the outside just weren't getting that light from the Active Grow LEDs. So again, crop looks great on these Barrinas. I'm very happy with this. This is the lights that we suggest to everybody to get started because they're just very cheap. They do a great job. And you could just put a bunch of them on a shelf and get some super solid, even growth. All right, so that is it for first glance. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to harvest all of these trays. After we harvest, we'll compare the harvest weights. We'll look at the appearance of the crops. What I'm really excited to see is this is purple sprouting broccoli, so the stems actually have a purple hue to them if the grow went well. So I'm excited to see if maybe the Active Grow have a lot more of that purple, or do the Barrina have some more of that purple. Anyways, we're also going to do a taste test, and then we're going to give our thoughts as to which one won and which one did not. So I'll see you guys in just a moment once I've harvested all 4 of these trays. Okay, I finished harvesting all 4 of the trays. Let's go ahead and start talking about the Barrina 3 light shelf. That one got a harvest weight of 335 grams on one tray and 337 grams on the other tray, which means our average was 336 grams. As for our Active Grow double light up top, that shelf had a harvest weight of 395 grams and 375 grams, which makes our average 385 grams. So the overall winner for this experiment in harvest weight is the Active Grow lights. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at all their appearance side by side. On this side, I have the Active Grow, and on this side, I have the Barrina T5s. So starting with the Active Grow trays over here, you can see how tall these are. I feel slightly like I blotched this test, and I'm actually going to redo this experiment and harvest these sooner because these are way, way, way too tall. The good news is that they were able to grow very aggressively, very fast, and give us some very high harvest weights. So I'm very happy with that. As for the appearance though, this is way too much stem, and I'm not happy with that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn off this purple light here so we can take a good look at the coloration. Okay, I've got the purple light and our grow space turned off. Now let's take a look at the stems. So I am noticing a good amount of purple within these stems, which is really quite nice, but I do see also a lot of undergrowth that was kind of lost underneath this canopy because everything did kind of grow so aggressively. Again, the coloration on these is very beautiful. I'm very happy with the crop, but I would like them to be about half the height. So I think these need to be harvested almost 2 days sooner. Looking at our Barrina T5s, these look perfect. This is how I want broccoli to look. We have nice purple in the stems. The height isn't too high at all. And overall, I'm very, very happy with the appearance of these crops. So for this experiment, I'm going to have to go with the winner of the appearance being the Barrina T5s. They just have that beautiful coloration. The cotyledon coloration is really nice. I don't think either one is, I mean, we have some really nice sized cotyledons on the Active Grow side, but as for the growth, it just got too crazy. It got too tall. It needs to be harvested sooner. So again, overall winner for appearance is the Barrina T5s. What we will do now is a blind taste test, and to reduce some bias, because what we've done in previous blind taste tests is I can actually tell which crop is which by how much stem there is. I'm actually going to take a second and I'm going to cut off some of these stems so that they're all at the same height. So give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to cut about half this stem off on this one. Yeah, I think those are pretty comparable now, and we're going to do the same. We're going to cut a good chunk of this off over here. Okay, now I will be blindfolding myself. Get this put on, and Mandy's gonna do the honors of choosing which ones I taste, and she's gonna show you which one and hand it to me. Okay, so the first taste. Okay, so analysis. It was very juicy, very crunchy. It had a lot of bite to it, which I really enjoy. You know, I want something that kind of sticks around a little bit and I enjoy chewing on. The flavor of the brassica was really nice. Overall, it was kind of mild. It wasn't a very strong broccoli flavor. I really enjoyed it. Mandy, is this tall enough to fit on the shelf?
No.
Okay. Okay, second taste test. Initially with this one, there's a lot of flavor. Very juicy again, very crunchy. I'm just noticing that the flavor was a lot more abundant on this group. I'm very happy with that. Really enjoyed that. So group number 2 is my favorite so far. Okay, group number 3. Doesn't have as much crunch to it. Felt a lot leggier. I'm almost gonna have to think that that was the Active Grow. Because it felt very tall. I don't know, could have been. I'm just guessing here. Okay, overall flavor. It was nice. It didn't have as much crunch. Still a really nice brassica flavor. It just wasn't as impressive as the first or the second. Taste test number 4. That was a lot of water and broccoli. Very crunchy. Very crunchy, nice and juicy. I feel like this, number 2 and number 4 were the same group. Okay, I really enjoyed that one. So as for favorite flavor, I'm gonna have to say group. There are taste test 2 and taste test 4. Now, let me get my light. Oh my goodness, it's so bright every time. Okay, Mandy, if you would, please point out what order that you did all those in.
Okay, so I started with this one.
Okay.
Then I went to...
And the Oscar goes to...
Okay, so this is 2. Okay. Great, the Active Grow had the best taste out of all the group. Okay, that's really exciting. So the winner for overall taste is the Active Grow Lights. They tasted amazing. They had a nice bite to them. There was, I mean, just a tremendous amount of flavor. Okay, it is now time for me to choose an overall winner for this test. Drum roll, please. Active Grow. So I'm gonna choose the Active Grow because it gave us very solid growth. We had the highest harvest weight, and it actually grew a lot quicker than the Barrinas did. I think that it should have been harvested about 4 days sooner, and then it would have won an appearance too, I believe. I'm actually going to be redoing this test just to find out about the appearance. As for the taste was amazing on the Active Grow. In fact, I haven't tasted brassicas that tasted that good in a long, long time, and I'm really excited to see what other crops are going to taste like underneath these lights. Overall winner for this test is the Active Grow, and I'm very happy because the dude sent me these lights for free, and I'm just very, very grateful that he did that and allowed us to try these lights out. And I'm going to continue to do a lot more tests with these lights. I'm going to try out 3 of them on at a single time against 5 of the Barrinas in the future. And I was actually planning on doing that after this test, but I'm going to hold off and redo this test so that I can see if we harvest this crop on day 8 or 7, if we can get a much better appearance on the broccolis. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know I had a lot of fun doing this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give us a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below, and we'd love to get those answered for you as soon as we possibly can. And please be patient. We've been like super overwhelmed with comments on our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and our website. So we're like way behind on comments, and we're doing our best to kind of jump in every now and then and answer. As for our website, it is www.onthegrow.net, and our Facebook and Instagram are both at On The Grow Farms. Thank you so much. Keep on believing and have a great day.